What I needed was for my Christian faith to move from a college lecture hall to something more like a karate studio, a Jesus dojo, a space where we could work out the teachings of Jesus together in real life. Dojo is a Japanese word that means place of the way, and it suggests an active learning space where skills are taught by a master teacher through example and group practice. You can't learn karate just by watching, and we won't learn how to practice the way of Jesus without taking tangible steps to walk in his way. The promise of the gospel is that we can learn a whole new way to be human, to live without worry, fear, greed, lust, or anger, to live a life animated and empowered by love. This is the kind of life that Jesus lived and invites us to experience. Once I became convinced of this Jesus dojo idea, I thought about all the crazy things that Jesus did and taught his disciples to do. Love your enemies, do not worry, forgive relentlessly. And it seemed like Jesus actually expected his disciples to do these things. One time he said, sell your possessions and give to the poor. And later on in the books of Acts, we read that selling their possessions and goods, they gave to anyone who had need. Well, along with a group of friends, I began to wonder, what if we actually tried to do these things? What if instead of talking about prayer, we actually prayed? Or if instead of just studying issues of injustice and writing checks to the right organizations, we actually did something together tangible to help affected people? These questions led to some crazy experiments, to picnics with homeless friends in the park, to neighborhood safety campaigns, even to inviting some of our homeless friends to come and live with us. One time, a whole group of us decided to experiment with the crazy things that Jesus said about money and stuff. We called our experiment Have Two, Give One, and over a 2-month period, we got together once a week to strategize how we could divest of half of our earthly possessions to give towards issues of global poverty relief. So we went through our apartments or homes, having to reflect on what to keep and what to give away. When I went through my apartment, I stumbled upon my collection of Hummel figurines. I know that's probably sounds like a strange thing for a guy my age to have collected, but I started collecting them when I was a teenager because my mom had told me that they were going to become worth a lot of money someday if I saved them. So I had to think, should I hold on to these things collecting dust or liberate this resource to help some of the poorest people in the world? What's the Jesus way? And the answer was simple to me. So I put them up on eBay. And what I discovered, somewhat to my dismay, is that they weren't worth any more than I paid for them in 1983. We collected thousands of dollars during this experiment and sent it off to help hungry people. But I'm not so naive as to think that it made a huge difference in global poverty. But it did change me and us. By risking action, the true condition of my heart was revealed. The way of Jesus, the revolution of love that he inaugurated, was becoming more than something for me to study. It had become a way of life that I could actually live.